is the manifestation of servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to show servitude. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala values the sacrifice of these divinely appointed individuals. But based on the same values, on the same standard, we should look at the saga of Ashura. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the doorway to guidance. We come here so that we become the recipient of God's guidance. Do we need guidance? Why do we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day in our prayers, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, guide us to the right path? Why? Do we need guidance? Absolutely. One might say we don't need guidance. In the 21st century, we didn't need guidance with regards to science, with regards to medicine, with regards to technology, with regards to chemistry, with regards to physics. First of all, we needed the guidance, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed us with the intellect, and the intellect guide us to find and figure out all the different methods and means to live a prosperous life. But we need the divine guidance and the divine direction so that we live both a happy life in this world and in the hereafter. Do we need guidance? Absolutely. Guidance to us is very much like an airplane to the control tower. The airplane has to appear on their screen at all times. If the airplane disappears from their screen, the people in the control tower will realize that there's something wrong. Something bad happened to the airplane. It's either down or that there's something drastically wrong has happened to the airplane. We always need God's guidance at all times, because if we're not guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the evil forces will take over. It's either God or the shaitan. And of course, the shaitan operates with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because God willed that we have both options. We, through our free will, choose to go to paradise. That's why the evil forces can operate freely, with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if we're not guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these evil forces will take over. Constantly. Because whatever we want to do, what precedes the action is the decision to make the action and the thought of the action. That's why our traditions say that every action that we want to put into practice, we have to make an intention. And the intention has to be within the context of the final aim and our objective in life. And this is where we need God's guidance. Before we eat, we have to say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before we sleep, we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's recommended that we do ablution. We do wudu before we sleep. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us the reward of someone that is praying and worshipping Allah all along until he or she wakes up. We need God's guidance. And the Prophet says, إِنَّ الْحُسَيْنَ مِصْبَاحُ خُدًا وَسَفِينَةُ نَجَاةٍ. Hussein is the lantern of guidance. If a person believes in Hussein and embraces the values of Hussein, it's like he or she is holding a lantern in the middle of the darkness. He or she will always avoid the pitfalls. But even if we fall, وَسَفِينَةُ نَجَاةٍ. He is the ark of salvation. Salvation from what? He saves us from what? From every misery, from every mishap, from everything that is bad. Yes, even if you're sick, he can go to Karbala and under the holy dome of Hussein, وَالدُّعَاءَ تَحْتَ قُبَّتِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save you. And he was killed, according to the ziyarah, لِيُنْقِذَ عِبَادَكَ مِنَ الْجَهَالَةِ وَحَيْرَةِ الضَّلَالَةِ. So that he may save humanity from ignorance and the confusion of deviance. These two are the source of every evil and every misery. Imam Hussein was killed so that he may save humanity. That's why, according to our traditions, Shaitan deceived the perpetrators of the crime of Ashura. But after Imam Hussein was killed and everyone was rejoicing, he suddenly summoned all his followers. And he was very sad. One of his followers said to him, "Our master, why are you sad? The biggest event, the biggest victory was just attained." He said, "No, it wasn't a victory. This was the biggest defeat, because Allah's mercy will now bestow upon the people that surround Hussein, the people that revolve around Hussein. He will be a gate for God's mercy. Through Hussein, a lot of people are salvaged. Through Hussein, a lot of people are saved. That's why his remembrance, tantamount to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is equal to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why these gatherings, these congregations are called sha'a'ir. Sha'a'ir are the signs that would direct us to something else, something greater. Tush'iru bih. These congregations reminds us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why when Abu Harun al-Makfuf visits Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, the Imam says to him that, "You're a poet. Can you recite a few poems mentioning my grandfather Hussein?" The man begins to recite a poem. The Imam said to him, "No, I want you to recite the poems the same way you recite poems in your country. I want you to commemorate the tragedy of Hussein." What the Imam is trying to say is, I want you to commemorate the tragedy of Hussein the same way you commemorate the tragedy of a loved one. And then the man begins to recite, "Umrur ala jadath al-Husayn وَقُلْ لِأَعْظَمِهِ الزَّكِيَّةِ." Go to the mausoleum of Hussein. Visit the grave of Hussein. Pay him a visit. And talk to his corpse, to his body. Talk to Hussein. وَامْرُرْ عَلَى جَدَثِ الْحُسَيْنِ وَقُلْ لِأَعْظَمِهِ الزَّكِيَّةِ ما لذ عيش بعد رضك بالجياد الأعوجية. We never enjoy life after hearing that after they killed you, Abu Abdullah, they stomped over your body with their horses. ما لذ عيش بعد رضك بالجياد الأعوجية وابكي المطهر, and cry for the purified one. للمطهر, for the purified one, in the presence of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. والمطهرة الزكية كبكاء معولة أتت لواحدها المنية. Cry like a mother grieving at the death of her son. كبكاء معولة أتت لواحدها المنية أي زينة دوش نبي روی زمین جای تو نیست. O Hussein, you used to climb on the shoulder of your grandfather Rasulullah. Now you're lying on the soils of Karbala. This is not where you should rest. This is not where you should be. ای زینت دوش نبی روی زمین جای تو نیست. این خار خاشاک زمین منزل و وای تو نیست. The thorns and prickles of the soil is not where you should lie on. ای زینت دوش نبی، روی زمین جای تو نیست. این خار و خاشاک زمین منزل و وای تو نیست. یا لیتنا کنا معک، یا لیتنا کنا معک. انا لله و انا الیه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. We ask Allah in the name of Hussein to grant us the tawfiq to embrace the values of Imam Hussein and to fill our hearts with love for Hussein and our minds with the knowledge of the cause that Imam Hussein was killed for. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.